In this lecture, we will look into add new nodes using data containers and detect dynamically. And these are the highlights of this lecture. We will update a name prefab, create a new script currency scriptable object.cs, and then we will create a data container, and then we will update the data container. And in the last, we will update the image reference library. And big thanks to Patreon for this support. We have been able to create incredible content, explore new ideas, and take this channel to new heights. Your contribution have made a real difference in helping us and grow and improve. To update, drop the prefab to hierarchy view. Click on text and rename it to currency info text. Check the auto size and change the name to currency scanner node. Setting minimum auto size to 11. And now rescaling the background image. Apply the prefab changes and delete the prefab. Now let's create a new script, currency scriptable object. Remove the extra from the script. I am also removing these two methods. A scriptable object is a data container that you can use to save large amount of data independent of the class instance. This is useful if your project has a prefab that stores unchanging data in attached monobehavior scripts. Using this line of code, it will extend the Unity editor and create a new button in the menu. A new button will be created in Asset Create menu. So we are writing create asset menu, file is equal to currency data container, and menu name currency data container. That will be the button currency data container. Create asset menu attribute is to make it easy to create custom assets using your class. Let's create a list of currency data. It will be a type of currency scanner. Define system.serialized. This indicates structure or class can be serialized. Now let's create a class currency data. Defining a currency value as a string type. This variable will hold the currency value like $50 or $100. To make it more structured, binding will be our separate class to hold the data. Binding will hold the country name and the currency type. And both are string type. And the most important part of this script, extend from the scriptable object. This script is completed at this point. You can take a look. As you can see, now we have a currency data container button inside asset menu. Let's create a new folder for currency data containers. We can also add currency data container from this plus sign. We will change the data container name to the short country name. Like in this case for Canada, I'm writing a CAD. Click on the data container to see how it looks like. So we have a currency data as a list, adding a first element of the list. Click on element 0 and here we have a field of our data. First we have a currency value. In binding we have a country name and currency type. Currency value is the same as we have defined in the reference image library. As name suggests, in the country name we add the country name, in the currency we type dollar or rupee or rupiah. Let's create a new data container, and we can create as many data containers as we want, and we will be creating each data container for each separate country. In our case, we have two Pakistani banknotes, and in the PAK data container, we will create two elements for the list. And here we will also follow the same pattern. Currency value will be PAK 10, that means Pakistani 10 rupee, in the country name and the currency type. And in the second entry, we will add the PAK 5000 rupee. So that is the simple process of adding the currency data. Whenever we want to add a new banknote, we will add an image to the XR reference image library and fill the data in the data container. And the currency value string should match with the image name of image library. Now we have created a separate data container for USA, and here we are adding our data for US $100. Let's take an example of US $100. Name of this image in reference image library should match with the data container's currency value. Here we have a PAK 5000 and in data container it's PAK 5000. At this point our data containers are ready and reference image library is also updated. And now we need to link these via script. And delete the queue, further we will not going to use it. We will be making changes in the currency scanner. So let's open the currency scanner script. As you know, we have a separate data container for each country. That means we need to hold all country data containers in a list. For that, we are creating a currency scriptable object list and we are naming it as all country currency. Comment all the switch statements. At this point, we will be creating a few string variables to hold and prepare the data. First is currency country and a currency type. Remove the switch statement to clear the space. Create a is currency detected a boolean type. Now create a for each loop and in the collection field pass all country currency. This is the list of all country currencies. We need to assign all the data containers to this list. We will traverse in the data containers to know if the detected node is available in the library. Changing the item to current currency country. That means we will check all the data containers one by one. We are creating a second for each loop to check a single country data container to check the data inside the current country. We can get the currency node by getting into .currency data. So this is the visual of currency data that we are trying to get. And at this point, we are inside the data. So now we are comparing is currency value is equal to currency name. This is the important line to understand. We are accessing currency value from the data container, and currency name is the actual detected image. Here we are comparing both, and we are saying if the US 100 is equal to US 100 that is detected in the real world. If they are matched, that means we have a data in the data container for the detected node. And now we will simply get the data from the data container, like country name or currency type. We are getting data by typing currency node dot m underscore binding dot m underscore currency type or m underscore country name. And here we are making is currency detected is equal to true, and later on we will utilize it. Next, we are creating a format string currency method. It will give us the proper string that we need to show. In the text field, we will be showing a country name, currency value, and currency type. And we will be passing the raw three parameters to this method. Let's suppose we have detected a front side of the US $100. And as you know, we need three separate strings, country name, value, and type. As you know, we already have a separate country name and currency type. But we need to extract the value of the banknote. And to achieve that, we are writing if the currency name dot start with F. Remove first four letters from the string, otherwise only three letters. By this, we will get the number of the currency. We are using a string dot format to arrange and give a space. This method will return the proper string that we will be showing in the prefab. Changing the text into currency info text. Here I am using a boolean if is the currency detected and call the format currency string method, and that will return the proper string we need. Otherwise display not in library. Make it currency info text. At this point our script is completed. And congratulations, you have implemented the hardest part of this app. It might be difficult to understand in the first time. You can pause it or rewatch it for more understanding. Now let's get back to Unity. At this point I have tested and we need to make our prefab a little bit more smaller. And now let's make few changes in our prefab. Apply the changes and remove our prefab from the hierarchy view. And now finally it's time to create a build and test it. As you can see, we are detecting banknotes using the data containers. And using these data containers, we can add hundreds of new banknotes dynamically without writing a single line of code. Keep learning and I see you in the next.